Hello guys, happy Tuesday. At least I think it's Tuesday. We are going to start our 3D modeling unit in SketchUp for schools. It's free. It's kind of like what we would have done on the desktop, just a little different. Before we get started in the actual website, you'll need to go to your drive. You're going to go to New, and you're going to create a folder called 3D Models. And you're going to go to Create. And you'll notice that the folder ends up in your Google Drive. Now we're going to go to SketchUp for Schools. And you're going to go to Try SketchUp. And you want to use SketchUp for, let's see, I don't know if it's going to show. There we go. Primary and secondary. Let's get going. Now, we're going to have to answer a couple questions. So the first one is, do you have a G Suite for education for your school? And the answer for us is yes. What's your role? You're going to choose student, but I'm going to choose educator. And then you're going to put in your email address. There's a couple more questions down the way. Choose I agree. Now don't click this one, you get a bunch of email. So we're going to go to next. It's going to take a second for it to come up. It's a little slower because it's online. Now, all this assumes that you have already watched that other video to kind of give you some time and try to do some things with with the tools in SketchUp. So we're going to go ahead and go to Create New. We're going to choose feet and inches. We're going to go ahead and start by naming our thing. We're going to name this house. And we're going to go to OK. Now, you're going to have to choose Google Drive because it's got to go somewhere. It does take a second for it to come up. And it's going to want you to put it somewhere. You're going to click on 3D Models. Don't go into it. Just click on the folder and go to Select. Now you'll notice it's saving. This is a glitchy program and you have to save often, otherwise you might lose your work. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this guy. I'm going to click on him and I'm going to choose backspace and he'll go away. Now, if you look at your house, the very first thing we're going to have to do is we are going to have to draw a rectangle. So I'm going to go to the rectangle tool. I'm going to click rectangle. And I'm just going to click down somewhere on the thing. I'm not doing anything else. No hands on anything. Now, if you look down in this corner over here, you will notice dimensions. We don't want those dimensions. We're going to have to leave this because I did move. So I'm going to go ahead, and if you hit escape, it'll take you out of that tool. And I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to get rid of something. So if I need to get rid of something, I can hit escape to get out of the tool. And I click that arrow, and I can get rid of it. Now, like I didn't do the very best job here, so I'm going to have to get rid of all the pieces. But what I was going to show you is the dimensions. So I'm going to click on the rectangle tool, and I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to start typing the dimensions. I just have to click and then start typing. It says the house is 40 feet, so that's 40. The apostrophe means feet. I'm going to put in a comma, and then I'm going to put 25 apostrophe. That is 25 feet. Our house is supposed to be 40 by 25. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. And now I have my house. Now if you notice, it's a little big. So I'm hoping that if I choose the orbit tool, I will go ahead and choose the zoom. Now I can if I zoom out, if I pull it towards me, it will make my view much smaller. If I push in while I'm on my mouse pad, it will make the thing get bigger. So I've got my rectangle with the dimensions of my house. Now I'm going to make my house tall. In order to do that, I'm going to click on the push-pull tool. And I'm going to click on the rectangle, and it says I'm going to make my house 10 feet tall. So if you watch that, if you just get a little, if you get kind of close to 10 feet, we'll be cooking with gas here. Not going to spend too much time. There we go, close to 10 feet. So my house is 10 feet. Now I'm going to do the orbit tool because I want to look at the top of this. Now I want to make a roof. In order to make a roof, I'm going to choose the line. And when I do that, if I go to the side, you can go across. I'll tell you when it's on edge, but we want the midpoint. So if I click that midpoint, and I'm going to try to find the midpoint on the opposite side. And I did it. Now I'm going to choose, if I use push-pull, that pulls up and makes a 3D shape out of a two-dimensional shape. Move just pulls up a line or a two-dimensional shape. So I'm going to click on the Move tool. I'm going to go to the center of it, and I'm going to go up about 7 feet. Because my house is supposed to be about 17 feet. So here we go. Too tall. Too short. Just a touch. Way too big. So if I want to do, I'm going to redo that. I'm going to pull it up again. There we go. Close enough. And so now I'm going to go back to my orbit tool and I'm going to move my house so I can see the front. Okay. Every house needs a door. So I'm going to go ahead and choose my rectangle, and I'm going to start from the bottom and I'm going to make a door. How about a nice, about 8 foot by about 4 foot door. There we go. My house also, whoopsie, my house also has to have 3 windows. So I'm going to orbit around so I can see all my windows at once, or 2 of my sides at once. And I'm going to grab a rectangle, and I am going to I'm going to go ahead and start drawing my rectangle. Now, if I like my window, watch this. I'm going to give it some color, and I'm going to make it like glass. So I'm going to choose the paint can. And over here, I can actually choose from the materials. And I'm going to choose the house. And then I'm going to come back to the magnifying glass. And I'm going to choose glass. And I'm going to choose one thing over here. And when I click on the window, it's going to be glass. Now, if I turn around and I click on that window, and I choose Control C, it copies the window. And then I get the window of the same size. I'm going to hit Control V, and I'm going to pull it over. And now I'm going to come over here and put a window over there. And I hit Control V there. There we go. So I have my 3 windows. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to choose wood and paint my door. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and it asks for brick. I think it said gray brick, so I'm going to click on gray brick, and I would go all the way around, but right now we're kind of short on time. I only have so much more recording time. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do roofing. So I'm going to choose a nice gray roof. Here we go. And now I have my roof. Now, we're going to talk about how to get some of the other stuff that you need. So I'm going to pull that to the side. I'm going to need trees. So I'm going to go back to the materials. Oops, I think I lost it. Hold on, let me go up one. Let me go up to this area. I'm going to search the 3D warehouse. And you can get a tree. And you can bring in a tree that you want. I had a real nice tree earlier. So I'm going to bring this tree in. And it's going to download it. And then I'm going to bring it in and put it right there. And now there's my tree. Whoops. And whoopsie. I keep hitting that crazy thing. If I need those, it talks about bushes. You can get your bushes here. And I'll bring in this bush. And I'll bring it in. Once again, I'll click over here and the bush will be right there. I think you have to bring in, I think you can get a car. Okay, so the model is too big. If it tells you it's too big, then you don't want to use it. So we want to get a car that's not too big. Here we go. And now this car is really big. So what I have to do, let's put the car in again. I don't know what happened to it. All right, so I don't know what happened there. So I'll get rid of him. Let's bring the car in again. And I'm going to try to put him on the ground. Now, if he's so big, if you go to, gotta find it, to the Move tool and you choose Scale, it will allow you to make the car reasonable. Because on your assignment, you're going to have to put the car on the driveway. So, we're going to pretend that I'm done with the house. I'm going to make sure I save it. Now, there's other things that need to be done to this project, but for right now, this is good enough. I just wanted to see how to do some of these things so that you could get back to them when you need to. So, now, if I were going to turn something in, if you basically, you would go to the assignment, and you would click the add button, or and then you would choose Google Drive, go to this folder, and then you can turn this in. That's how you would do the house. So I think that you should do pretty well on this assignment. Be patient. There is a learning curve. Save often. Have a great day.